companionship with the baby, looking toward an even greater event at the end of this period of building, constructing of the body inside. I would encourage every mother to treat the baby inside as any other person, and simply assume that it can communicate, that it understands, that it is learning, and will be remembering all the important things that are happening.
When I talked to the baby, the feeling that came over me was more of a calmness. It was, don't worry, Mom, that kind of a feeling. I want to stay with you, and I'm grateful. And it was a feeling that came to me.
It may seem strange to some women to talk to the baby inside as if it is a real person, just as they would talk to any other person. But I think if they simply assume that the baby is just like another person, they will do all the right things. And I personally believe the baby will be learning. We know, for example, that the baby is learning the speech characteristics of the mother in utero. Because when the very first cry is uttered as early as 21 or 22 weeks, we've analyzed the first cry of an infant that early. When that is examined by sound spectrographs, the voice of the infant can be matched with the voice of the mother. So from this, we know that the baby is learning the speech characteristics of the mother in utero. It's also very interesting that babies with mute mothers who don't talk somehow miss getting their speech lessons in utero.
We have reason to think that the baby in the womb can perceive very early sounds coming from the mother's voice. And we can easily understand that when the mother is singing, the stimulations are much richer than when she's only talking. When she's singing, she's going from a high tune, high frequencies to low frequencies. And you know that when the ear, when the sensory organ, which is specialized in receiving vibrations, is not yet perfectly mature at the beginning of life, it's very sensitive first to the difference of frequencies, tunes. No? You know that in the countries when they have a language which makes difference between the tunes, for example in Chinese, the babies become able to speak at an early stage than in our countries. So the baby in the womb, the newborn babies are very sensitive to the difference of tune, to the singing voice.
The period of pregnancy is a time of heightened sensitivity, and the mother's primary concern is to harmonize the incoming current of energies to the mutual benefit of both mother and child. The expectant mother can direct this flow of energy into a developing companionship. She can envision the kind of human being she would like her child to be, talk to her baby, show the unborn child everything she likes and admires, sing to the baby, share happiness, and the baby will indeed understand. The child will never forget what is taught in the womb. Living this wonderful connection between herself and her child together, they become a team, sharing their lives, directing their energies toward realizing the child's greatest potential.
C'è ormai un'evidenza fortissima in questo campo e vediamo ci sono risultati statistici che lo provano molto fortemente.
Today, doctors are beginning to understand what this prenatal period is and what it is like being in utero, not as an inanimate, unconscious object, but as a conscious, sensitive human being, perhaps even more sensitive than after being born. Why more sensitive? Because the unborn child is in a direct, total bond with the mother, without any defensive screen. So he has no other choice but that of participating in his mother's thoughts and feelings.
At a meeting, just 3 or 4 years ago, a doctor was heard to say, if one was conscious when one was born, it would be the most shattering experience of one's life. All the evidence now points to the fact that we were conscious when we were born, and it was And that's why we normally behave the way we do.
As a psychotherapist, I see it over and over and over again. The happy, healthy births translate more into a happy, healthy, productive person later life that moves through their problems very easily in life.
And another aspect is what to do not to go on disturbing at a collective level the process of childbirth, what to do to find alternative to the medical discipline we call obstetrics. And at this point of view, I think that the first stage would be certainly to rediscover midwifery, to remember that to give birth, a woman needs first to be assisted by an experienced and motherly woman.
What I've tried to do in my own practice is to sort of modify Laboyer's gentle approach to a hospital. And I must say, I have to use the word delivering instead of birthing, because I believe in birthing, but I do deliver. I try and be as invisible as possible. But the baby is mine for a moment, only a moment. And as the baby is being delivered, I say to the baby, you don't really need to open your eyes now. And I say, you've done a wonderful job to the baby, because I do realize that babies want to know how they're doing. Then I put the baby, hopefully with the cord attached, on the mother's breast. I make sure that the mother and the father are in close contact with the baby. I explain that the baby can see 6 to 12 inches, and I have to keep forcing the father particularly to be that close to the baby.
I am sure that the way you welcome your baby and the way you prepare the birth of your baby influences the first minutes, the first hours, the first weeks of your baby's life. And the look you have on your baby during the first months and years of his life will be different if we have lived differently, a new way, during pregnancy and during delivery and during the time you stay in a maternity ward.
I think that in this new age of ours, there are people who are helping bring babies into the world, and there are very special babies coming into the world that are totally different than have ever been before. I just think they're a unique brand of human, and I think we can do a great deal to make that possible or make that better by our method of handling the birth process itself.
Now your child is born, and this special communication you have developed from your teachings of prenatal education will continue. Whisper it over again while breastfeeding, and even when the child is asleep. Today, the latest discoveries in the fields of science and medicine are finding more and more evidence of the great part the 9 months of pregnancy play and the role of the development of the child's character. The day is fast approaching when all couples will be truly aware of the real possibilities that a pregnancy can offer, and we shall all witness the birth of a new humanity.